Proszę zapisuj.
No, dokładnie.
Tak? Hello.
Poszła.
Już?
You must be my film crew. So here we are on the streets of Krakow, and we're going to head right down this little alley here, all right? So just follow me. Right over there on the right, you see the sign over the top. When we get down here a little bit, you can see it. And that is Studio Dono. And this is operated by Donaton and Agnieszka Froli. You know what, we're just a couple minutes early. So let me take just this couple of minutes to introduce myself to you. I'm Kathleen Ann Thompson. I'm director of Bellhurst Productions. And Bellhurst Productions is a small nonprofit organization that develops mentoring programs for young people in the arts and tells lots of stories. Stories are really what we call life talk. They're histories. They are things that can voice our deepest longings and sometimes challenge our hidden fears. They also have the potential to embed hope in our life. They make us more human, in short. Actually, I think it's time. So let's knock and see if Agnieszka's here for us. Hello. Hello. Nice to see you, Agnieszka.
Hello, Kathleen.
Oh, thank you for having us here. All right?
Welcome.
Good.
Yes. Come.
This is your space,
Yeah.
right?
It's our
how it's changed.
little theater called Scena na Lwowskiej.
I won't try to pronounce it.
Yeah. We started this from a small atelier. We wanted to do just workshop, and then we started to perform, and then we just started theater, and now we do theater, and we try here in Poland also physical theater.
Oh, great.
So theater clowning, physical comedy. It's not easy.
Then I shall feel really at home here.
But today
Yeah.
we have you, here. Yeah, you're welcome. So please come with me. You can. I show you your change room.
Dressing. Okay,
Dressing room.
great.
Yes,
Thanks.
come.
Action.
I'm waiting for my cue.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, action.
Okay, so it would be good if I just gave you an idea of what's in my head and how I see the show and how I see the purpose of this filming. I'm actually not a film person, I'm really a theater person, but we don't live in the same world that we did 25 years ago. And nowadays, if you don't have a digital presence, you actually are going to make it into very few people's consciousness.
Once upon a time, there was a king, a very great king, and his territories were so vast, why you couldn't even name them. And his citizens, so many, you couldn't count them. Well, this is a little boring, don't you think?
The play starts out with me reading a little fairy tale and saying once upon a time. And then it moves into the better idea that maybe instead of reading you this story, I should impersonate the memories of her who lived this story. And the whole story is around a day in which this very, 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 very old queen is going to give her last address to her people. And she needs to dress royally for a royal address. But she's decided she will do this all alone, without her ladies, with no help at all. So she basically comes out in her underwear, albeit period underwear. Thank God. And she dresses. Every piece she puts on is another memory. And it's all about how she came to be a queen. Now all I have left to do is to sit here like a queen. But but I'm so tired. It is true, all my wounds, they became sacred wounds of transformation. I'm so tired. The last dressing is actually the most profound aspect of the gospel. It's the understanding that we were created with a destiny, and that destiny is one of relationship to God. The feeling in the majority of the place is intimate. It is one of, we are looking in on this woman's private memory time.
My father's pearls. I give you one pearl for every important lesson I taught you. So you remember who you are. Yes, that's important, and that's why you rogues are going back on the string here. Now, you just get out of there. Come on. Oh, you old duck, you. That's why you have ladies. I suppose I must come and fetch you now. That means I'll have to bend over. Maybe I could be a little more creative. Aha, I know who you are. You big old fat one, you are. A lesson of pride. I just put my heel on you and slide you over. Then you'll remember what you learned. It's not always about you. I see you shivering in your little pearl coat there. Don't be afraid. Just remember what you learned about trust. It's a matter of surrendering your fear. I won't drop you. I promise. There. Where'd you go? There you are. Yes. You for sure are obedience the furthest one out, yes? Always afraid somebody was gonna clip your creative wings with a little structure of obedience, but remember what you learned. Yeah, the greatest freedom is in obedience. There you go. And always hiding, little Miss Intimacy. I know. That was a hard lesson, wasn't it? Let somebody come so close around you that they could see all of your black spots. But wasn't it worth it? When you realized they loved you anyway? Well, look at that. Aren't I clever? Eeny, meeny, miny, more. Four pearls in a row. And I only have to bend over once. 2, 3, 4. Now, you need to get back on this string so that I can remember all the lessons I learned. That's what Father said. Forget the lessons, you might forget who you are. And if you forget who you are, you don't have any way of moving forward to your destiny. Yes. You have to remember that's what this day is all about. Remembering alone. Remembering how it all began, how you got here, yes, and how to move forward. Now let's see how that feels. Oh, yes. Oh, the weight of my father's wisdom.
Along the journey, then, God prepares us. He brings us up as children. He brings us up to have the character of royalty, the character to co-rule with Christ. Don't want to remember that yet. What do I want to remember? My corset, that's it. My corset, that's what I want to remember.
Oh, the strictures of pain. What did Father say? You can't outrun pain, my daughter. But I think I tried once. Because I ran and ran and ran and ran and took great flying leaps and risks and hid behind trees. And then, quick as a squirrel, agilely, I scampered into hiding places that would make a mouse claustrophobic. Then it was past. I was out and hop, skip, and jump across the ravine and dive under hedges and scamper around boulders and run. Oh! But not fast enough. Father's huge hand fell on my shoulder with indefatigable absolutism.
You know the story. And they do know the story. This is the profound story of God and his people. And it is in the heart of all people. It is their deepest longing because God created it in them. And that longing is there, that longing for a relationship like she has with her father, that longing for that perfect, absolutely perfect love that is so pure that one can't even imagine it in the world that we live in.
7.
Oh, he held me in his left arm, albeit protectively, and I listened to the whirling arc of the birch branch as it came through the air, carrying its scorpion sting to my skin. I counted the strikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And now,
I braced for that last 7th strike.
just one more.
I heard it land, but I felt nothing. Then I saw the branch laying at my father's feet with a thin crimson thread of blood on it. Oh, it wasn't my blood. Father never used that kind of force on me. And then I saw through the open weave of his trousers the undeniably bloody wound of the last 7th strike on my father's own leg.
I have taken the last blow for myself and given you grace.
If we listen carefully, we'll find that God is everywhere in our life. He's everywhere around us, like a good father, a good parent who is raising their child with beneficence and wisdom and teaching the basic lessons of life that prepare a character that is royal.
Oh, I do remember how relieved I was when we got to the other side. Oh, and what a treat it was. Oh, I'd never seen such a royal tapestry of wild flowers and colored grass and birds we never saw in our part of the forest. And then Father, he spread out his picnic lunch for me. Oh, and there were acorns, oh, dripping in honey, warm and sticky and sweet. And Father's wonderful stone-cooked flatbread with sweet little seeds. And aromatic fragrance. And the best was the cheesy butter from our new goat. And then Father's hand reached inside of his jacket and brought out a metal box and put it in my hand. My treasure. Is this my treasure, Father?
No. It's only a gift to be a reminder of your treasure.
What could be more beautiful than a royal ring?
Your treasure is your trust in me. Now your faith in me is not just knowledge in your head. Now you have tasted of me.
A character that will be able to rule with Christ. A character that understands the Father's will, that understands what it would mean to govern a realm such as that.
But I had no throne. How could it be? I have no throne.
But I do. And the throne is there. It just has the wrong occupant for the moment.
I couldn't understand why the prince would want to marry me when he could have his pick.
It is true that I found you tossed on the palace steps at the first light of dawn, kicking and crying, covered in your own blood, the umbilical cord still hanging. And as my enemies pursued me, I chose you. I reached down for you and commanded you to live. I spread my cloak over you and held you next to my heart for our flight into the secret part of the forest, which is older than man. Now, look into my face and tell me what you see there. I know what you see. You see yourself as I see you, don't you? A queen. This is who you really are. I have covenanted with you to make you so. Reach for it.
I was never the same after that day.
There is that longing in every single human being. Hopefully, this play will awaken that, whether the person knows anything about the Bible or has a relationship or doesn't have a relationship at this moment with even God. I am hoping and praying this piece will awaken that, like a sleeping bear hibernating in its cave, yes?
Now, my lady said it only takes one drop. Just one single drop. And it was one drop of crimson red blood. But it fell like a boulder on the freshly cleaned mound of lamb's wool Father had prepared to be the recipient of the prince's blood and his promise of oneness to me. It glistened like a ruby in the afternoon sun as Father marked my forehead with the prince's blood, and then took my trembling fingers and placed them over the wound in my prince's hand and closed our hands together.
More than my life to be lived, is my promise to be trusted. That I am your husband
I am yours
and you are my queen.
as wife and queen. My only life to live. And then, through the open passageway of our eyes, the prince's words penetrated into the womb of my soul and seeded our first child. Eternal love.
Everything that happens in our life, from the time we're born, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, it doesn't make any difference. If we can truly surrender ourselves to God and believe that He is moving us toward a destiny, as it says in Ephesians 1, then we can go through our life understanding something different, not blaming this aspect or the politics or the country or the weather or the time or the people or whatever, but we can think about, okay, what does this mean on my journey? And it's going to be something good. Something good. Even though it feels bad right now, it's going to be something good.
Forgive me. Forgive me, my prince. Forgive me. And then there were those hands again. Those extra large, warm hands carrying my face up to his.
Love is the child you must now bear into the world. His love for you.
Her opening condition is taken out of Ezekiel 16, where we see the newborn infant lying in its blood on the side of the road and is picked up and brought into the household.
22 years ago, I was here on these steps like you, hopeless, abandoned, rejected from my birth. But then the king reached down for me and brought me under his cloak and sped me away to safety from the rebels. And since that day, he has spent every moment of every day mentoring me to understand his will for the realm. And I am here today to execute that will for my Father, which is no less the same for you as it was for me. Are you ready? There weren't any flags, no trumpets, no refrains of "Long live the Queen." Just silence. And then one head lifted to the sun, and then another, and another, and then another, and then there were a sea of faces tilted up to the sun, and the sun caught a glistening glimmer of hope in their eyes that this too would be their destiny. It was enough to begin.
Ah. Well, that was fun. And I really want to thank you. The whole team, you were great. Chris and Rufio and Anya. So now I guess it's just time for the undressing, which will probably take me as long. You know, I brought with me, I was cleaning out some photographs, and I brought this photograph from home from my past, and I just thought I wanted to remember this performance, how important it is that stories are told, and what they can really provoke in you. And I guess that's what I would like to say to those of you who watch this. Thank you for being there. And I think I would just paraphrase C.S. Lewis's comment that just because it's a fairy tale doesn't mean it's not true. And that fantasy is not necessarily another world, but a world deeper in you, one that often we don't discover. So I would hope the show provoked a desire to go on that journey and discover that other world, because you do know the story. And if you're interested in seeing Bellhurst perform the totality of this piece live and talking about it in an open forum, do contact us at www.bellhurst.com. We travel to over 5 continents and 25 countries, performing on spaces you provide. And we'd love to see you in one of those spaces.